fucking kidding me?
Game point.
Fuck! What up, what's happening, everybody? My name is Charles Blades, and this is the Current Gaming Podcast, episode 61. I am joined by none other than the potato himself, Aaron Weeks.
Hey,
Okay, yeah, you bring it down. Top favorite players so far.
Favorite player. I wasn't gonna talk about that. My favorite player is the other day. I went to La Rosa's, or not La Rosa's. Fuck that. I went to Richard's, another local pizzeria.
That's even worse.
And got a steak sandwich. But I was in line to pick up our online order, and this old woman was in front of me, like signing off on her order. And they do this thing where they flip the screen. They flip the screen towards you, and you have to sign. Yeah. And they flipped the screen towards her, and she literally wrote Pepsi Cola instead of signing her name, and started looking around like she did the funniest shit anybody had ever seen. She was like,
she fucking
Pepsi
nailed
Cola,
that,
and it was like, it was awesome.
What?
Good for her.
Yeah, that's it.
Simple
Pepsi
pleasures
Cola lady at Richard's Pizza.
of the old people. Yeah.
We have critically acclaimed cat mom. That's too many hard C noises.
Too much alliteration.
Yeah. No, that's me. I do that.
You kick David out. David and you are no longer together.
Yep.
You've kicked him to the curb. How does it feel when you were throwing his things on the street? How was that?
Yeah, dude, I fucking hate that guy. He sucks.
David, no, fuck. God damn it, I fucked it up again. I got, shit, now what was it? No, fuck it.
Cool.
I got David Skinny Dippin' Morgan with me. That's what it was. Fuck. I didn't write it down. I keep forgetting.
True.
I thought it wasn't Skinny Dippin'.
You have a good week, David? You moved back to Cincinnati, Ohio?
Yeah, it's good. It's been very relaxing. It's been good for me, I think. Been writing a lot. Almost fucking threw hands last night.
I know you didn't say that.
I said
writing.
Writing, okay.
I am going to be drawing. Last night, me and Cheyenne were trying to sleep, and we heard at 2:30, it was like 1:30 to 3:30, banging above us. Just like banging, like somebody...
Yeah,
Cheyenne was right. It sounded
hammering like the walls. I don't know. He came to visit. That's why we were together.
Chisel their bathtub out of their bathroom.
That's what it sounded like.
So somebody new moved in up there, and I went up there, and I was knocking on the wrong door at first, and I had to go do some investigative work. So I went out into the yard next to ours to see whose lights were on, and then I went up to his door, banged on his fucking door, and just stood there until he came out. It was this little dude. And his girlfriend, I guess, and his English wasn't very good, but he was like, "It's not your problem," and I was like,
"Kind of is 3:30 in the morning."
And he was trying to act all hard, even though he knew exactly. And his girlfriend was just in the back, like, "Yeah, he's banging stuff. I don't know what the fuck they were doing, but I'm very
whatever the hell he was doing."
Okay, so they were actually bangs, though. I thought you guys were saying, like, implying that they were banging.
No, not fucking. Like, literally just, like, slamming shit around.
But, like, later on, you're like, him and his girlfriend walked out, man, and I was like, oh, okay.
They were just, like... literally hammering things for 2.5 hours.
Hey, man, sometimes you gotta just bang on some walls.
Not at 4 a.m.
I did the... very angry. Do you ever get really angry when you're tired in the morning, like, and you want to go back to sleep?
No.
Wait, speaking of that, was that the day that you guys woke me up at 4 in the morning talking in the fucking group chat?
Yes.
Yes.
Right,
that's why we were awake. I got
to be a part of that too.
Why was your phone ringing at 4?
I didn't know it was ringing. I like put it on Do Not Disturb.
Turn it off.
Yeah.
I usually do, but I was so mad when that woke me up. I almost texted right then. It was like, shut the fuck up.
If that makes you feel any better, this
weirdo?
morning I was woken up 3 times by my fire alarm going off for no reason at all.
Oh god.
3 times at 7 a.m. when I was getting up. I got up at like 10.
Nobody slept well.
Dude, that's nothing. I get woken up by my fucking carbon monoxide detector all the time.
I mean, but that's a good, like...
Just turn that shit off.
I can feel if it's hot. You can't really tell about the carbon dioxide.
Silent killer.
But we got a good show for you this week. Or are we talking about some? No, we really don't. I'm gonna be honest. This is a boring show. Not a lot of good news.
Another boring show.
Not playing anything.
Really
not playing anything too much. But this first story I think actually is a big piece of news. It comes from Nathan Grayson at Kotaku, and it's about Guild Wars 2 and ArenaNet and this whole kerfuffle that has arisen over the past few days. And it reads, after a Twitter spat erupted into a mob of fans going after a narrative designer from Guild Wars 2, studio ArenaNet, the developer Studio ArenaNet, the developers, said that it has fired 2 employees, Jessica Price and Peter Fries. On July 3rd, Price, a writer on Guild Wars 2, published a Twitter thread on the challenges of creating a personality for an MMO player and how ArenaNet's narrative team approaches things internally. She explained that if ArenaNet gave player characters too much personality, it might clash with the player's understanding of who the character is. In response, a fan and YouTuber going by Dior, this is how I'm gonna pronounce him, like not like the perfume brand, yeah, spoke up saying that while he appreciated the insightful thread, he disagreed. While he appreciated the, quote, insightful thread, he disagreed with her assessment of the situation. He said it felt more like the problem could be addressed with more dialogue options that let players choose how to express themselves. There is a whole like lengthy Twitter thread that I'm not quoting the whole thing of.
Yeah.
But his Price felt like Dior overstepped his bounds and said, quote, "Today I'm being a female game dev. Allow me, a person who does not work with you, explain to you how to do your job," she tweeted. Adding that she had been working in narrative for a decade and didn't need the concept of branching dialogue explained to her. It was, do you want me to keep going?
Yeah, I mean, what, right. Yeah, what,
right.
Just finish it.
It was, Price told Kotaku in an email, the straw that broke the camel's back moment. I've never really seen that phrase typed out, I guess. I didn't realize it had to have a hyphen between everything. By the time that guy came along, I was so tired of having random people explain my job to me in company spaces where I just had to smile and nod as if it was like, no, not here, not in my space. I don't know. I fucked that quote up. Guild Wars 2 fans did not take kindly. In the following days, the MMO subreddit exploded with threads about the incident, many calling for Price to be punished or fired. Some even threatened to stop spending money on the game until the situation was resolved and found in a way they found suitable. The issue also found its way onto Gamergate subreddit to Kotaku in Action, a community that has gone after Price in the past. All the while, people rained down insults on Price, accusing her of being an SJW screaming child and quote, playing the vagina card, as the phrase that I say.
I haven't heard that one before.
Often,
yeah, that's completely normal.
And other nastiness of the like. The mob also went after Peter Fries, who stuck up for writer Price, and in a couple now deleted tweets. Jesus Christ, I'm struggling. Here's a bit of insight that I legitimately hope reflects on this. She has never asked for his feedback, Fries wrote. Yesterday, ArenaNet fired both Price and Fries, saying, quote, "Recently, 2 of our employees failed to uphold our standards of communicating with players," ArenaNet president Mike O'Brien said in a Guild Wars 2 forum post. "Their attacks on the community were unacceptable, and as a result, they are no longer with the company." When reached out to by Kotaku, ArenaNet sent a follow-up statement that echoed what O'Brien wrote down, but would not comment further. All right, I'm going to stop reading right there.
That's fine.
What do we think of this whole mess?
I've been all over on this today. At first I was like, well, that's stupid. Maybe they made the right decision. And then I kind of thought about it and I was like, that's kind of an overreaction. And then I kind of was reading and I wasn't really thinking about it as like a mob. I never really, because I didn't internalize that that's pretty much how video game player bases act, is as a mob. It's an interesting way to describe consumers of a product, but I'll leave it at that. They're vitriolic people, obviously. I think her response wasn't measured. I think she might have a chip on her shoulder. And I think the guy was honestly just giving his opinion on the game. And I don't think he was trying to like mansplain or tell her how to do her job. I think he was honestly just, I've thought about this too. I'm going to give my opinion in this public Twitter thread. And then she just probably had a lot of feelings about being talked to like that and maybe misinterpreted his intentions. And then basically called him a sexist and pinned his tweet to her timeline. And then she had people attacking him, and he had people attacking her. Now he didn't have people.
Did she actually call him a sexist? Did she use those words? I'm just asking.
She didn't say you are a sexist, but she heavily implied it in like the "I'm a woman in video games and this is how I'm talked to."
I'm just saying.
No, not to clarify. She did not call him a sexist, but she did pin one of his tweets to her timeline. He was getting a bunch of attacks. She was obviously getting a bunch of attacks because gamers suck. I don't think ArenaNet made the right decision by firing her. I don't know what her history of behavior is. She, I think, is maybe known to be a little bit outspoken on Twitter about things maybe that people don't agree with, which is fine. That's like what it's for. But at the same time, like, I don't think you should be held a slave by the company you represent either.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe this was like a last straw for like that article maybe mentioned. This was like a last straw for them. I don't know about the guy. I have no idea. That seemed really random. He didn't seem like to be doing anything wrong at all. But yeah, it seems like it's a big stupid thing, and I think that everybody's oversimplifying it a little bit by being like, oh, the mob got her fired, or oh, that guy was a sexist. I think it's just been a lot of like history in this kind of environment is like kind of coming to a head in this story, and it's really weird to like have all these perspectives kind of clashing in really radical ways when it's maybe not that complicated. And ArenaNet definitely overreacted, but she maybe was unmeasured as well. I don't know. Cheyenne has thoughts on this.
I've got a lot of thoughts. I've also been thinking about it all day. It's the whole entire thing is just a mess. So I don't really think that she responded in a good way. All she was saying is like, like MMO characters, it's really hard because there's a lot of different expectations from everybody. And then he was like, yeah, I don't really agree with why you say that. And it didn't feel like he was saying, well, I know better than you. I want to offer my opinion because I think it's right. There was someone that responded.
Insightful.
Yeah, he took everything back.
I'll push back on this. I thought he was not like, you can say whatever you want on Twitter. I don't really give a fuck. But like, he didn't really give her advice. He didn't really make an opinion. He just explained what dialogue trees were.
No, I said opinion.
No, he didn't.
He said because that's something.
He said, but instead player characters were given the option to meaningfully express their character through branching dialogue options, which also aren't just a checklist for achievements that forces you through all dialogue options, then perhaps players would be more invested in the role-playing aspect of a particular MMORPG. All he does in that sentence is describe what branching dialogue is.
Well, no, because that's not something that you see in MMOs, is why. Because this is an MMO NPC, and it's not something you see in them.
It's literally all he did was explain dialogue options. Is what I'm saying. Like, I think she knows what dialogue options.
No, he said that he disagrees with her initial judgment that MMO, NPCs like the genre itself, makes it difficult for like having interesting like player characters.
And
that's what he was disagreeing with.
Describing that is like dialogue options, which I'm sure she knows what dialogue options are.
Of course she knows what dialogue options are.
If you just said dialogue options and left it there, it would have been fine.
No, what I'm saying is like you like disagreeing with somebody by stating a basic fact is just mansplaining.
No, he's saying dialogue options, but not in this facet that he goes on to.
Don't fucking mansplaining to me. Like, that's not what this is.
It's not my fault you want to be a sexist pig, Cheyenne.
Okay. No, but listen to this is what someone else has responded to this, saying, this is at death_burst. As someone who might have posted something similar. Because I love talking about video game design, because I want to learn, and because the best way I know to do that is to offer contradicting opinions and discuss with the people who have more information and context. When I do that, the implied reasoning is, I don't fully agree with what you just said, and here's why, but I assume you know more than me, so please debunk my arguments. Maybe I shouldn't leave it implied, but I'm always respectful. And I think that's more like what this guy was trying to do. He was trying to disagree so that he could get more like insight on it, and so that he could learn more. It didn't seem like he was like, oh, well, I know more about MMOs, and this is what you really need to do.
It sounds like somebody
I think this was a misplaced reaction. Like, I think she took a fire from something else and applied it to this.
That was what I was saying with the...
And I understand that. Like, I'm certain that she has to deal with getting a lot of shit being a woman in video games. I know that must be really difficult, but... It really seemed like she was kind of out of line the way that she responded to this one specific guy, calling him a rando asshat. He's like a community member.
Who cares?
And to pin this shit to your Twitter for the sole purpose of getting your followers to fucking berate this guy
is that what happened? It's not pinned to her Twitter right now.
What purpose does that serve? Like, what could she possibly have meant?
Also,
was
it pinned to her Twitter? Like,
it was pinned. She had pinned quote tweet of his original tweet saying, "Oh, just another day in the life of being a woman in video games."
Was it today in being a female game dev? Allow me, a person
yeah.
who does not work with you, explain to you how do you do your job? Is that the one she pinned?
That was the pinned quote tweet of his original.
And the one right after that was where she was like, the next rando asshat who attempts to explain the concept of branching dialogue to me. Like, responding to your fans by calling them asshats is not cool.
It is.
I don't feel like that's that big a deal, literally at all.
Like
I mean, responding to that specific guy, saying that he's an asshat, like...
I mean, she wasn't necessarily responding to him. She said rando asshat.
Clearly,
to the ether.
She was throwing some shit.
But if you want to say that, like, it's not... Like, being called an asshat is not the fucking end-all, be-all of the
is
end.
It enough
no, but,
like,
that is not a respectful way to talk to someone. That's just trying to offer a dissenting opinion.
Write about video games that, like,
he wasn't. He was just giving.
That's not what he was doing.
It was though.
It wasn't.
I don't know. I feel like to some degree he understood and respected that, and even not saying that this makes anything okay if he did step out of line, but he even went out of his way to say, "I appreciate the insightful commentary" or something along those lines, and then went on to voice his opinion. Not at all saying, "I think this is correct and you're wrong." Just saying, this is what I personally believe would be better.
Like, this is something that would have just as easily have been posted on a guy talking about writing. And that for that reason, I don't think he was trying to be sexist or mansplaining. Like, he was clearly
no one has ever called him sexist. You are coming...
If you're saying that he's mansplaining, that's something that you do to women.
It's not
that is something that happens to women. You don't mansplain a man.
All right. You're women-splaining, mansplaining to me.
Shut the fuck up.
This is painful.
Well, I'm just saying, like, just because you've... Like, I'm sure every single one of us has mansplained something in our lifetimes. That is 100% something that all three of us have done at some point. Like, I don't consider myself a sexist, but I have done that. Just because you mansplain somebody one time doesn't mean you're a sexist and you're an outcast and, like, everybody's shouting you down.
Okay,
but if you get called out for mansplaining, like, you don't have to, like, take
he
it as,
wasn't
like, this
mansplaining. That's the problem.
But, like, that's what you guys are trying to paint it out. Like, I'm saying he's, like, the worst person in the world, calling him a sexist. I'm not saying
no,
that.
I'm painting
I'm
it
just
out
saying
like
he was mansplaining.
You're reacting as if we're saying that her being fired was justified, and that's not
I
at all what I'm trying to say.
I'm not saying that at all.
All right, it just seems like you're
because I think we all think it's dumb she got fired, and that they
I don't think this should have been handled so publicly.
This is probably going to happen to more devs going forward.
Yeah, I don't like the way this was handled at all.
That posted that big fucking awful thing. Did you see that?
What?
Jason Schreier did a story, and like Reddit, like the subreddit about the game was like the hand of Reddit reaches whatever ArenaNet, and it's like we could get anybody fired.
Yeah, like the whole I completely agree that like the people on Reddit that are celebrating her getting fired and saying like, look, we finally got her fired, like that is
Reddit.
Disgusting and should not be happening.
That's the easy conversation to have. We can all have that conversation. I would was he mansplaining is the only part we disagree on.
No, he wasn't. But at the same time, like no. Even if he was, like she shouldn't have responded like so.
If Cliffy B responds that way, no one cares.
Well,
I don't know.
I do because I think Cliffy B is a huge fucking.
But I'm
asshole.
saying Cliffy B could get a job wherever he wants.
He's also a much bigger name.
He's also a guy.
Well, he did.
That's
the bigger point. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is when she does that, she's a bitch. But when he does that, he's a.
Never did I say that she was a bitch. Ever.
I never said anybody was
not,
sexist.
He's making a
made
point.
that into a big thing.
Her being fired.
I never said that you said that either, but I don't know.
And I'm certain that this whole there is definitely a nice hefty steep of sexism in this whole debacle, but I don't think that the core argument, the core instigator of this whole thing was handled well. And I think ArenaNet overreacted, and I think everybody else is overreacting about them overreacting.
I don't think anybody's overreacting about a company setting a precedent where people on Reddit can get you fired.
No, that's fucked up. That we should be reacting to
that's
that.
The problem is that
conversation blew
even
up.
if they wanted to take action against her for doing this, it should not have been a public firing like that. Because first of all, she didn't deserve to be fired. Neither did the random guy that defended her.
No,
that
was weird.
Completely out of the question.
Publicly executed her fucking career over this Twitter battle.
Right, that could have been some kind of internal discussion that they had. This, they handled it completely wrong. But she also, she also handled it wrong.
She didn't do
And
anything
she
that
kept
didn't do
saying
anything
like
that bad. That's why we're
this
saying
it's
she didn't
my
deserve
right
to be...
it's my right because it's my personal private Twitter that I can do this.
That's dumb.
But like her bio literally had like ArenaNet narrative writer in it. It's like
Also,
if your profile is public, you do represent your company a little bit. I also agree that you don't have to like
and her
be
the entire argument was about her work as a writer developer. So like,
Right.
you can't completely.
so like you
disconnect-
are
I would
representing your
100%,
company and
like-
it's not your private like Twitter.
Yeah, that's a dumb argument. Like, if you do that argument, and I was to
That
do
was her
argument,
whole like argument. Her
well, I
and,
think
and
that
the other guy
argument's
was
dumb in the fact that,
Yeah.
like, by that logic, then like Roseanne shouldn't have got fired. She just
Right,
said something racist on
exactly.
her Twitter. Like, not that her like it clearly was not as egregious.
no,
as what
not
this-
not
No.
as
This
not
girl did,
comparable, but the same kind of idea.
similar kind of thing, but. I don't know. It just like she didn't say anything that bad.
No,
like I
I-
understand. Like literally,
that's-
all this warranted was like her boss being like, "Don't
Hey, stop that."
curse on Twitter," or "Don't
Literally.
Well,
nothing
yeah.
like more
Well,
than that."
but here's the thing: we don't know if that has happened, and I think everybody
Right.
jumping
There
to the
might have
conclusion-
already been like
Everyone is jumping to the conclusion that like the people went to ArenaNet and said, "Please, ArenaNet, fire her," and they were like, "Okay."
Exactly.
Like that's not what happened.
I mean, this could be like a third strike scenario too, is what David's saying.
that's
We don't
more
know what happened.
I mean, that's like,
reasonable and-
but like the optics of it are
Them
that
doing it
Reddit
publicly
complained
was
about this
bad.
girl,
Yeah.
and then
Yep.
she got fired,
They made the wrong move by doing it publicly.
and that's
But
kind
I
of
think
all that
that-
matters.
Yes. Okay. This
Yeah,
discussion
sure.
is not going anywhere. We talked about it. We've made our opinions clear. Be better, please. Game industry. Maybe unionize your workers. That's a good. That's a
Yeah,
good
it's
a good start.
for that discussion.
Because not only is she
Um,
fired and doesn't have a game, like she doesn't have healthcare and a bunch of other stuff. If you like really dig down into it, it's like fucked up.
She did get offered a job at like a drone software agency like within an hour of
I
her
don't
being
know.
fired. She'll be okay.
How does that work?
How does a
They
writer
did
do
it on
that?
Yeah, I was
Twitter.
gonna say that.
Yeah.
They were like, "Hey, come work for us." Like that's just what happens on Twitter. They're like, "Oh, you got fired. Like, come on over." Like
That's a good.
usually tech takes care of their own in cases.
PR. No,
like
not
this.
at all. Tech is a terrible industry to work in.
No, I mean when like game studios
Abuse
get huge
their
layoffs-
workers all the time. It's terrible.
Well, as far as keeping them as slaves that know how to do the things, they're very good at that. Is that better?
I just tech is not a good industry. Like, terrible work, requiring people to work overtime and
Look,
just terrible.
I'm just
Anyway,
Yeah.
enjoying my wine.
So that's what's going on.
what's going on in Guild Wars
That's
2?
fucking mad.
Also, the shout out to ArenaNet in the fact that they just milked this shit into as much free promotion as possible because no one cared about Guild Wars.
Yeah,
2.
who the fuck was talking
Yeah.
about Guild Wars 2 before
Yeah.
this?
So they just
Um,
they're real
They're
stuff.
doing it.
Yeah.
So yeah, this next story is about Fallout 76, and it comes from Destructoid and Jason DeVore. It says players will. It's talking about Todd Howard talking about single player games. Players will share the same world in Fallout 76, but that doesn't mean Bethesda Game Studios is suddenly ditching traditional single player experiences in favor of the games as service model. Quote, it doesn't mark the future, studio head Todd Howard said in an interview with GamesIndustry.biz. Quote, cooperatively, we've done a mix. When I read quotes, it fucks me all up.
Fucks me whole.
Corporately,
whole.
we've done a mix. People forget sometimes. Elder Scrolls Online is one of the biggest online games in the world, and we have Fallout Shelter, which just keeps updating in the Elder Scrolls Legends. Anyone who has ever said, this is the future of this part of gaming is dead. This is the future, and this part of gaming is dead, dude. It's
Do you
so.
need help?
That's a quote within a quote. Come on.
It is.
Has been proven wrong every single time. We like to try it all. For a long time, we wanted to try a multiplayer game, and he had this idea. We shouldn't be afraid, he added. We should try it. So Bethesda's not done making single player games. Do you believe that, or is it all?
Yeah.
We already know that.
Right.
They're making 2 fucking more.
Yeah.
This is a-
Are people really
so
like?
there's
No, I know. There's
man.
no.
What do you want from me?
Yeah. I mean, are people really afraid that like Bethesda's gonna buy into just only making games as service games? Like they
We
know
also
that
just got-
people want more Fallout and more Elder Scrolls and they want Star whatever it's called.
Starfield?
Starfield.
Starzone?
Yeah.
Is it
Star,
Starfield,
Starfield.
Starlink, one of those? both of
Starlink,
those?
yeah, that's what I kept calling it.
Yeah.
We also just got
Starfield.
games like fucking
That's
God of
fun.
War, Mario Odyssey, Breath of the Wild. Like, I don't know
Yeah.
who could possibly, in their right mind.
Well,
make
this
the
was
argument
like
that
all the
single-player
talk,
games are dead.
like what, like this is like some late 2017 bullshit. This is like when
Star Wars got canceled.
yeah, and then that was like it, and then everybody was like, oh, look at all these games as services, which are still fine, like, but they're
Yeah,
not gonna be the only. You can't just play one fucking game forever. You need all the
Right.
little bite-sized, experiences in between. Like I like a good God of War between my Destiny 2 and my Division 2 and my Anthem or whatever the fuck. You know, I like those games, but I got room for others. I mean, I assume a lot of other people do too.
Yeah, that's
Cause,
kind of what I was saying. Is
God of War
in
sold
this
like
climate,
crazy.
I don't understand how anybody could say single player games.
Look, we're only saying it because there's no fucking news. We needed to all just like have a discussion and agree.
I don't think single player games are dead by any means. I think the days of aside from first parties, third parties aren't gonna have any more God of Wars. Like, does that make sense?
There's not gonna be any like big
third
blockbuster
parties,
fucking...
but like, what do you mean? Because like, oh, you mean like the?
Like,
like
I wouldn't even classify Wolfenstein in that camp.
No, you're right.
So that there's just no money in making like a single player game unless you're like first party.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just saying EA and Activision at a certain point, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think so because we saw a few being announced. At
because
E3.
Cyberpunk and there's
Yeah, and then like what's that one game with the telekinesis powers? And
Control.
Control.
Yeah,
the Platinum game announced at Konami. Or not,
Konami. It was Sony, but yeah.
God, I wish we got another fucking... Yeah,
they got that single-player pachinko machine coming out, dude.
So, no, I think we'll see more of those. They won't be as high budget or, like, spectacularly, like, gorgeous, but they'll be there. Because it's... Like, as, like, an artistic vision, like, you have to respect that single-player games probably have, like, more focus and maybe even, like, a little more integrity if you really wanted to get nitty with it, but, like...
I don't know about
It's... Because, I mean, if you think about, like, a director of a video game, like, rarely are they, like, aspiring to be like, I want to keep this game alive as long as possible, and I want to make the biggest player base ever.
But before all that stuff, there is a, like, initial idea that, like, has some, like, artistic...
Yes, but that's why I'm saying integrity. Like, the vision is there, but, like, the focus of it is diluted by,
I don't know,
well, we need to spread it and...
Like, I think what Fortnite is doing right now, like, that team, like, has a lot of artistic integrity. Like, they're putting out new... Like, they're making a bunch of money off their artistic integrity.
Yeah, well...
But, like, they have a unique art style, and they're putting out goofy and, like, keeping with the spirit of that game.
Yes, I'm talking more about, like, Senua Sacrifice and things that are more heartfelt, and, like, you can tell, like, this was, like, a singular vision that a team took on and agreed with, and it's telling a story. Things like that are harder to do in a games as a service, and there's always going to be people looking... There's definitely people looking for outlets for that kind of a creative experience, and for people to enjoy that and experience it and beginning to end like it was, you know, intended, instead of... What if we made Senua's Mass Sacrifice a multiplayer open world game of service?
Sacrifice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the end of Thor 3 where they're all on the Rainbow Bridge just fucking everybody up.
That'd be fucking terrible. So, like, yeah, we'll definitely see. Even if they're way lower budget, we'll see these.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think they just offer completely different things. Like, single-player games tend to, like, focus a lot more on, like, a narrative that might be more compelling. Like, not that multiplayer, like, you know, games of service can't have good narratives, but, like, rare. I feel like there's just...
I don't remember... I can't think of a single good, like, loot shooter that had, like, a...
It's not impossible, but, like, single-player games tend to, like, be where you go for the narratives and, like...
Good story, but I think it has
Borderlands 2 was, like, well-written. It was, like, funny and, like, compelling, but it wasn't, like...
That's the only one I can think of just off top.
Like, Handsome Jack was a great antagonist.
Yeah,
so that's like probably the closest.
Yeah, characters and narrative, those tend to be more fleshed out. But that game had like an end,
and you were like done with it. So it's kind of like almost like a hybrid in that sense. Like a Destiny,
that was before the service games like too. So it wasn't like exactly. It was creating that mold rather than just.
Interesting to think about, but I think we won't see them going anywhere. And if not, indie will always save us.
Yeah. My god, dude! All right, you want to talk about that Anthem gameplay, David? I watched some of it.
Yeah,
I'd like to gameplay before, but watched gameplay of Killer Queen. That game looks fucking awesome.
Killer Queen, isn't that an arcade game that they're porting?
They're porting it to consoles. It's Killer Queen Black for consoles. Yeah. It looks fucking amazing, and we are all about those.
Is it multiplayer?
Yeah, it's teams of 4. So, like, we can be a team, like, playing somebody online.
Oh, it's, like, competitive?
Like, it's hard to explain, but it's fucking awesome.
Okay.
Like, it is gonna be, like, the new Towerfall.
It looks like fucking Duck Game. Yeah, it looks like a Towerfall or a Duck Game.
Duck Game is fun.
What the hell? Man. This looks cooler than I remember. I didn't know it was competitive.
The strategy and, like, mental, like, games you can play, and they're all, like, very short. All the games are, like, a minute long.
Oh, perfect.
So,
you know how I like those. Cool.
Yeah, that
No,
game
that's
looks fun as fuck.
that's
Anyway,
that's great. We can talk about Anthem. We don't have to, but
I don't know.
thought
Did
it
you
looks-
guys, did Cheyenne or Aaron, did either one of you watch that game?
We watched it a little bit together.
Shane watched it with me. Well,
haven't
check it
seen
out
it
if you
yet.
haven't seen it. If you haven't seen it, it's like the E3 stuff, but without all the concept art and bullshit in between. It's like just half an hour and
Yeah,
then
it's a
fight the
little
actual
longer.
boss. It looks great. Like it looks like a lot of fun to play. Like a lot, really excited. My only complaint's that the crit numbers are a little too big.
Yeah,
a lot of
they're a
people
little
online are being
distracting.
like blah or like, oh, this actually made me excited. I'm definitely in the more excited camp now.
I can't imagine the numbers bothering me because like,
It's like
you
WoW.
play
It's like
WoW. Like,
yellow-
have you ever fucking-
Aaron's a numbers man, man.
I do like them, but
He's
they're
out there.
very.
He's got his stat sheets. He's got his
Yeah,
Excel spreadsheet.
they're just kind of big. They
Well,
like
the difference
When you're
with
playing
cover
WoW, it's like
the-
you're like healing a dungeon and you cast like a big heal, your entire fucking screen
Well,
is nothing but numbers. For a
The
second.
only difference there is that that's tab targeting, and this is like you're aiming at something, and so when the big numbers
literally
are
my
too
tab
big,
is bound to a fucking attack.
dude,
So, like, I
numbers
don't
are
have
too
it.
big, so it's hard to see what you're shooting at. But
That's true.
I'd be surprised if there's not an option to control some of that though. to
oh,
a degree.
probably it looks
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
really fun, and I'm really excited.
I thought
about this game.
I'll admit I'm not gonna like totally eat crow or anything, but like I thought it looked better than like I thought. It did feel not empty, but it kind of felt like the mission they were on was like a very streamlined thing. And I'm a little
Yeah.
worried that every mission is not going to be like that. And it's kind of be like you're going to be in that area, kind of like how Destiny's like events work, where you're just like roaming around, kind of.
Yeah.
And like the movement
Actually,
feels
there's gonna
good
be a
and
lot of
everything, but like I don't know. That
You're
was just
kinda
my take
doing.
of the like.
No,
5
I
minutes
get
of
you
it.
completely. I'm more interested in seeing something that isn't scripted, seeing like impressions of like the exploration because.
Yeah.
They said that dungeon could be accessed from the map, so it's just like, you know, Destiny Strikes. You can do that like over and over. That's great. But the what was it, the subwoofer that they turned off? Those seem like a one-time like go find this and turn it off. I don't know what kind of object. They showed the map and there was all these little icons. There was like there's tons to do, and I was like, all right, cool. We'll see that later, I assume. But the gameplay itself, like, and even the like there wasn't a lot of character. But the guy talking on the comm was at least better than Ghost. And the like Samoan guy in your ship seemed really cool. I was like, this guy seems fun. I want to know more about him. Like that BioWare charm, I think in the writing is still there. It's not going to be as narrative driven as like Mass Effect. But I could
I
definitely
think that's
see
what
how.
people kind of want to.
Well, those
Yeah.
people are going to be disappointed, and I'm
You mean
sorry.
the
like,
entire
that
BioWare
sucks.
fan base? Yeah, they're going to be really disappointed.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. But
I
everybody
don't even know
else
if they're
like
going to
me.
be disappointed. It's just
I'm
that-
going to be disappointed if it's not that.
Like
It
it's
won't.
definitely not going to be that.
It
There's
isn't.
no way.
I know it's not, which is
But, like-
disappointing.
I don't know, like, yeah, they might be disappointed, but if it's good enough in another aspect, maybe that like wins some people back.
It's gonna have to be like excel to
And,
a
like,
fucking
I don't
absurd degree to move past that. I
The
feel like, and
gameplay
that's not
looks
gonna happen.
really good. To be
It
fair.
looks
the
okay.
combat looks.
It looks
fun as
solid.
fuck.
I'll
Did you
give
see
that.
the
It
big
looks solid.
giant that shot the laser? That shit and the sound that it made, that was fucking cool, dude.
It
I'm
looks
excited.
solid.
All right,
But
we can move on.
That's it
So,
for Anthem gameplay. I didn't like make that a pressing thing. Last story we have here: Dead Island 2 is still in development. This comes from IGN and Adam Bankford.
How the fuck?
Do you remember Dead Island, man?
Oh my god.
Dead Island 2
Why?
is still in development, according to a tweet sent from the official Dead Island account. Dead Island Survivors, a free-to-play tower defense game for iOS and
Oh
Android,
fuck off.
officially launched, bringing it with questions about the status of this franchise the status of the franchise's long quiet project Dead Island 2. On the
Got a real
official
Command and
Twitter account
Conquer
for
on
Dead
our hands.
Island, they were many replies to the Survivors release tweet consisted of questions asking when/if the game would be headed to the Nintendo Switch, I guess, and most concerned about the status of the development of the game. The answer provided some hope for fans of the series, with Dead Island in one reply, or the Dead Island Twitter account saying in one reply, Dead Island 2 is still in development and we will share more on this at a later stage. This comes after, I don't think we talked about it on here, but a few, like, I think like a year ago, they removed like the Dead Island 2 like pre-order page from Steam, which a lot of people
It's
took
always
as
a-
like a sign that it was dead.
It's a good sign.
But
It
apparently
is
it's
dead.
not. Oh,
It's
yeah,
Dead
yeah,
Island.
yeah, I guess, yeah. But do we care about that? Anybody care about Dead Island?
Fuck
Nope.
no. But didn't. No, hang on. This is not.
Okay.
I was thinking like they're gonna be going up against Dying Light 2, which is gonna shit all over this game regardless.
Yeah.
It's not. It's not the same people though.
No, it's not.
It seems so similar. The
Originally,
Dying Light-
it was the developer of fucking Spec Ops: The Line was doing it.
Oh,
But
that's
then
a
they-
bummer, man.
But then they
fell
got
off.
taken off it.
Okay. Oh, okay. Good. That's good. I didn't want their legacy to be tainted with Dead Island.
Yeah.
Dying Light is just Dead Island, but good. So for anybody listening that is excited for this game, just go play Dying Light, like Enhanced Edition. It's fucking great.
Remember Dead Island was a thing for a second. There was like 3 or 4 games.
Yeah, when like the heat
and
of zombie fever was like a thing.
Escape from
like,
Dead Island and shit like that. Yeah.
Everyone was like, "Oh, give me Left 4 Dead 3."
Wasn't there a sequel called Dead Island like Riptide or something
there's
like
Dead
that?
Island, Dead Island Riptide, and they ported both of them to the next gen. And then there was like a Telltale style game called Dead Island Escape from Dead Island.
Oh, really?
And then they did a whole thing. No, it was Dying Light. They did a thing where if you pre-ordered it, you got entered for a chance to win like an island. Remember, like they bought like, a small island in the Bahamas or something like that.
Yeah, what the fuck?
That's why there's not a fucking Dead Island 2. They're building
a budget on
an island.
A literal island.
Yeah.
Oh, weird.
And there was another. I don't remember. I think there was another. I think it was with this game that there was like a controversy where one of the special editions had like a severed woman's torso.
That was Riptide.
Yeah. Was that Riptide? Okay.
That was Riptide. It was very cheap.
It was like very graphic.
It was like pretty graphic. It was like a bikini torso with like some bite marks. It was like weird. I just thought it was weird, and I was like, why would you want this?
Oh my god, fireworks are still happening.
Really?
But they got leftovers.
But yeah.
I fucking It's really exciting news of Dead Island 2 maybe coming around.
When I'm fucking putting Dead Island 2 news in here, I almost put there's a story about fucking Pokemon or something. Like they're getting plushies or some shit. I don't know putting that in here. There was bottom of the barrel shit this week.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there is the news that fuck. Oh shit, what's that game? The guys who made hang on. I got this. No, it's the guys who made Azure Striker. Inti Creates. Their game got a release date, and their game is called. It was at Nintendo's Direct. Dragon March for Death got a release date. It looks cool.
Oh, okay. This is some bottom of the barrel shit, dude.
Well, hey, it looks cool, and they made Azure Striker Gumball, which is like a good game. Drew would appreciate this news.
I bet he would.
The release date is scheduled for Riff. Why is it not?
This is a good show right now. I think
forget
this is the quality content.
Forget it. I got a wine in me. I'm just trying to find this.
We got the fucking Guild Wars story out first, man. They don't care about anything else, man.
Yeah, dude.
They're just sitting back and they're along for the ride with us, man. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta put the important shit first so that they can stop listening, because that's how podcasts work, didn't you know?
Did it only
how do
get
you
a
listen to
fucking
podcasts?
window?
Cheyenne.
What do you mean?
When you're like, I got a nice podcast, refresh the feed. What are you doing to listen to a podcast?
I still don't understand. I play it and it plays in my ears.
Like I'm saying, what are you while you're doing a podcast? Are you just like looking at the ceiling, listening to this podcast? Like, what are you doing while you're
do other shit? I don't know. Homework,
like, what is your main podcast activity?
Reading.
You
That's what?
Because I don't fucking listen.
You all came at me where I was going with this. Now we got a topic for discussion. How the fuck are you reading while you're hearing people talk?
Because I don't listen to the podcast. It's background noise.
If you don't listen to the podcast, why have it on at all, you fucking dummy?
Because I like background noise.
What?
Okay, so
I also don't listen to podcasts.
You just have them in the background.
I listen to like one.
How about
you asked the wrong person.
9 times out of 10, if I'm listening to a podcast, I'm either driving or playing WoW, because WoW is like fucking brain dead. I'm just hitting
perfect
keys.
Podcast.
Yeah, but it depends on what I'm doing in WoW. If I'm like raiding, then I'm not listening to a podcast. But if I'm like just leveling, then 100% have to have a podcast or music on.
I used to listen to podcasts while I draw, but now when I do that, I watch Bob Ross episodes.
That's basically that's a pre-podcast.
It's really inspiring.
I also like to watch episodes of old shows if I'm not listening to the podcast.
Yeah. Otherwise, driving and at work sometimes listen to podcasts.
I'm a big podcast listener. Playing Mario Tennis, man. Just recently, been fucking fired up on Mario Tennis.
Got 3 tournament wins, dude.
I got 5 tournament wins now.
Fuck Bowser Jr.
Yeah, Bowser Jr. is fucking OP as fuck.
Are they gonna patch him?
They better.
Sure.
I mean, like, it's not the end. Like, the game is broken enough to where like you can choose who you play in the like pregame lobby, which is dumb. But like that makes it so you don't have to play Bowser Jr. if you don't want to, and like no one played.
But there's so many people playing them. Sometimes it takes like literally 5 or 10 minutes.
But there'll be people. I'm subscribed to the subreddit, and like every other comment is either Bowser Jr. is OP and needs to be fixed, or I'm playing Bowser Jr. and I can't find the game. What the fuck?
Yeah,
and it's this ongoing cycle. And whenever anybody posts like a cool. And dude, it really is like it's absurd.
Yeah.
And whenever
I've had some bad Waluigi games too, like Waluigi.
Defensive characters are just like OP, like because they have so little. Anyway, we can get into this later. The other thing I was gonna say is I like to listen to podcasts when I do laundry. I love listening to.
You just sit there and watch the laundry go, or
no, like when I'm folding.
You're folding.
Okay.
Yeah, of course. Any chores, dishes. Laundry, cleaning. I always have a.
I just listen to music. I just don't listen to podcasts. So
I do. Yeah. I got a few mainstays.
They're fucking boring. That's why I have them on for
split screen
background noise.
You would like.
It's ironic considering we're sitting here filming a podcast.
Yeah.
They're fucking boring.
I listen to podcasts when I go to sleep too, but recently I've been watching a lot of poker when I go to sleep.
That is truly boring.
Dude,
very
poker's
weird.
so fun.
That'll put you right to sleep.
Oh my god, dude, I've like thought about putting a couple $100 into doing online poker a few times.
You should check out my grandpa, dude. He plays poker literally 100% of his entire life.
I'll fuck your grandpa up, dude. I'll dude, your is this the grandpa that worked at the mailman or whatever? He was moving.
Something like that, yeah. Climbing around in my futon.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, so I'll do that. But I've been enjoying. We can talk about poker. I've been the poker game market. Interesting. There is some fishy shit out there. So.
Yeah, all online gambling is mostly scams.
Yeah, I was trying to like just find a free poker game that I could like play. Like
PokerStars.net, dude.
PokerStars.net is where I was looking into like just.
That's where my grandpa plays literally 100% of the time.
Is he any good?
I
fucking hope so.
I've never played him. I would hope.
Online
he's
poker,
been playing it for years.
Like I have a good sense about people. I don't know. Maybe I'm just over.
Online poker must be
people on PokerStars.
But you don't see anybody when you're playing online poker. It's just
you
like,
should have to have a webcam. Like on at all times.
And
then it just turns into chat roulette.
Like the proxy screen where it's just like a guy like standing there like that. It's not actually them. Anyway, that's it for the news of the week. That brings us to announcements and delays that David already took care of with fucking whatever the fuck it was.
The fuck was it called? It looks fun.
Dude, you brought it up and you don't even remember. That's how
I did it for the fans, alright? It's cool.
Yeah. You're all out there. But that brings us to games coming out this week, and Aaron, what can we spend our money on this week if we wanted to?
So you got Crash Insane Trilogy coming to the Switch, which is really exciting actually. Maybe I'll actually play it if I get it on my Switch. I own it on the PS4, but
that comes out Monday, I'm pretty sure.
I won't.
The 10th is a Tuesday, I
comes
believe,
out
right?
My bad.
Tomorrow.
I could. Yeah, it's Tuesday.
Octopath Traveler is on the 13th, and Captain Toad is also on the 13th.
Oh yeah.
Not as hyped for those two, but
I've heard some Octopath. I've heard some things though. Jason Schreier put up an article today that was like,
he put up a
it's
review.
Really repetitive because you have to do the same first chapter basically 8 times, and then nobody talks to each other.
I
in your party.
enjoyed it in the demo.
Yeah, when you do it
demo,
twice, then it's fun. But I guess when you're doing it 8 times in a row, it gets a little annoying.
I mean, I did it 3 times.
I'd say Persona is like the exception to that style of game for me. Like I don't typically like turn-based.
I might just go play Final Fantasy VI to really play like a good JRPG because I've never played it.
But yeah, that's it for everything coming out this week. That brings us to what we have been playing for the week. What did I say we were going to talk about first? Oh, Mario Tennis. We kind of talked about that. I don't know. Aaron, do you have any other input?
I've been getting better at it. I really low-key had buyer's remorse when I first bought the game. Like I played adventure mode first, which I think was a mistake.
Bad idea.
Because it's so incredibly goddamn frustrating that I wanted to snap my Switch in half.
Trash.
But like,
what's wrong with it?
I heard a lot of
people say that. Like, what's wrong with adventure mode where it's so awful?
It's not. I don't want to say it's poorly designed, but like, yeah, it's not really tennis. It's like you're using a racket and a tennis ball to do weird Mario shit, and it just like doesn't feel good really. And it's like, it feels like I'm completing chores to get to the end of it. Like I don't feel like I'm playing a game. I feel like I'm doing something that I have to do. And you have to do it to unlock the courses. Like if you're playing like locally with like a friend at home or something, you just don't have the courses to play on unless you beat the adventure mode, which sucks.
Oh. That sucks.
Because the adventure mode is like not fun to play.
It really, and the courses like they're not like I play the tournament mode like almost exclusively now, standard tournament mode. But the courses like aren't in that, so like I have barely seen like that many of them besides when I'm playing with you and Drew. And like the courses do add like some cool elements to the game where though like there's one on a pirate ship where in the middle of the thing there's like
the mast.
A mast, Jesus Christ. And then there's another one where like there's a you're in like a haunted house and there's mirrors that like the ball goes in and then like comes out the other mirror. It's like interesting stuff like that, but
and you can like legitimately use it as like a strategy. It's like if you're playing Smash Brothers and you're on a stage that has hazards.
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
Similar to that. It's like there's one that has like piranha plants. If you shoot it into the piranha plant when it's like dark, it'll count as like a zone shot for the other player.
Okay.
And
so it's fun and it does add to the game.
But the online's really where the game is like good. It's like a fighting game. Everybody has said that, but
did they fix the online netcode?
yeah, it works fine.
Okay.
For me at least. I don't know.
You saying that it's like a fighting game makes me really glad I did not get it.
It is exactly like it is literally like you're like it's all mental the whole game like
one-on-one.
It's about tricking
like
your
that.
opponent into like thinking you're doing something else pretty much.
That makes me want to die. So you guys enjoy your game. I'll be over
fun,
here.
but it's like it really is like because it's like I don't know how to explain the rules of tennis really, but like you've got like it's like 3 game best of 3 pretty much, right?
Yeah. I played the demo,
which is really fucking like if you're having a really long match that it's just like rally after rally after rally, then sometimes by the end of it you're so worn down that when you lose it's like
it hurts.
You want to kill yourself.
It hurt. I lost before I got on this recent hot streak I've been on. I lost in a final like in a tie break. So that's like we went to the 3rd set and like it was like 6-6 back and forth forever and I lost. It was like crushing.
That sucks.
But honestly now those don't like those now I'm not like great at this game or anything, but like I've played good people. Like I've played people.
You were
in the top
talking
100.
some shit the other day.
Like, I will
to
fucking
say I'm not
destroy you.
Yeah, you said you
like,
whipped some like top 100
like
players.
I didn't whip them, but I beat somebody that was like ranked 60th or something in standard.
Jesus.
But and then I've gotten beat by a few people like I've played in the top 100 just like
I've gotten beaten by a lot of fucking Bowser Juniors, I'll tell you that.
I refuse to play Bowser Jr. now. Like it's not like I gave up. Like the game's not fun.
Yeah, it's like unfulfilling.
It really is. Like you know you're gonna lose. Like the only time you win is if they're not good. It's not if you played good. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I play as Boo though, which I feel like is almost kind of shitty.
Boo's terrible in standard.
Yeah.
He's like
so like I can't really.
He's like
talk that much
awful,
shit
like
about
he's
Bowser
bad,
Jr.
or he's overpowered.
Oh, he's bad. He's not like he's no good at all. He's like
I do pretty well with Boo. I feel like
Imagine
I
how
don't
well
stand
you-
up close on his serves. You can't do it.
No, that's the fucking Waluigi that beat me like 3 times in a
It's
row.
really easy.
He just
You know?
charged up on the net and fucked me, and I couldn't do anything.
It's very
That's
easy
funny.
to beat Boo. The way you counter that is you have to like you want to get them
lob shots,
in
but,
the
like-
habit of doing lob shots, and then when they're gonna expect a lob shot, you do a drop shot. And like
That's how I
So you
got
just
a
got
couple
the
points,
fucking
but like
meta,
oh, dude, I know exactly. It's like I can talk about Mario Tennis
I
forever.
literally learned how to do that after the day I played you and lost like 6 times in
Yeah.
a row. I was like, all right, I guess I should probably learn how to play this. And then
Yeah.
like I played a few matches online, and that was the game where I wanted to fucking throw my Switch out the window.
Yeah.
It was because this Waluigi was fucking my ass until I learned how to do the like drop shot, lob shot thing, and still lost.
But I play Rosalina, who's the other tricky character, and she's like pretty like middle of the road in the meta right now. And but what she can do better than Boo is she can just hit the ball way harder. Like Boo is like a soft little squishy boy.
Squishy
Yeah, but I
boy.
do like
That's cute.
a lot of like slices.
Yeah,
which-
yeah. I mean, I do too. But like, it's really easy to do like overhand topspin and then slice it away from him. Is like what my man.
See, I never do topspin. I never know when to do topspin.
Top
I either
spin?
power shot or slice.
If
like,
if
almost
you
never.
can charge it all the way up and they're at the back of the court, do a topspin shot and it'll push them like really far back. Maybe not so much with
See, I thought
Boo.
that's what power shots did.
No, power shots just like hit it really hard. Topspin can push them really far back.
And then do like a lob shot.
And
after you
then
push
do a
them
drop
back.
shot or something
Or
like
drop
that.
shot.
Or even a like with Boo. I'm sorry, I'm getting way too in the minutia.
No, it's dumb.
But like
It's
with
fun.
Boo, you could do a slice and like slice it away from like whatever side they got like knocked from.
I love slicing on a serve. How the fuck? I saw somebody
Peter.
do this in a video. How do you do the zone shots off of a serve?
You have to be. Did you guys hear that, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
You have to be in the yellow and press R, and then it like automatically does its own shot. You should really learn how to do that and like get good at it, because that's a way you can. That's like my favorite part is serving in the game, because I just play mind games with people, It's so much fun.
I got fucked on the game, like the games where people were zone shotting off their servers. I didn't know what to do because I didn't even know you could do that. Yeah. I thought they broke the game somehow. I was like, you fucking cheating right now?
You have to be in the yellow with your meter and press R, like when you're like.
Isn't zone shotting just giving them an opportunity to?
Probably in a menu somewhere. I don't really know. It doesn't make it very clear. A lot of the game is the story mode is not where you learn how to play the game.
Honestly, like I thought it did a pretty good job of teaching you a lot of the mechanics. As annoying as it was, like. It does do a good job of showing you the different.
It does. One thing that a lot of people don't realize when they're playing is that like the surface types matter a lot more than you like think they do, and like how you should pick your shots. Like if you're playing on clay, you should be doing a lot more drop shots because the ball like goes slower on clay.
Just like real life tennis.
Yeah, like it really is. Like it. Like
cool.
I enjoy this game a whole bunch. I wish they would fix Bowser Jr. and I wish they would fix like back trick shots shouldn't give you like energy. It's really dumb. Because people spam those all the time, but those people are like easier to beat.
If somebody like lobs it over you and you like trick shot backwards to get it,
yeah, that gives you energy instead of like every other trick shot takes it away, and so people just like abuse that and like come up to the net and then hit it and then automatically spam back trick shot. But like they're not too terrible to beat because you just drop shot them like when they're least expecting it kind of thing. But I don't know. I enjoy Mario Tennis a lot.
I can tell.
I'm sorry. I talked.
It is really fun. Like when you win a match like with some crazy play, like it feels. Really good.
It feels really good. But what I was saying earlier is that like when I get into the elongated matches now, I guess it's because I won a tournament now. I have that weight lifted off me. It's like I clap. I'm like, good game. You played me fair. It's when I get fucking stomped that I get fucking annoyed. I'm like, how is this even happening? Because like I think my win percentage is like 70%, which is like pretty solid.
That's really high.
Yeah.
I don't like but then just sometimes I'll get people that, and like the worst is when it's like not a person in the top 100 and it's just this random motherfucker that just beat this shit. Oh, it hurts. Anyway, I'm sorry. I've been on this.
I've lost more games than I've won for sure.
That's cool.
I'll play with you and like try to help you out if you want me to. Not like to be a dick or anything.
I just don't want to dedicate
Miyagi
time to Mario Tennis, but I'm glad you guys enjoy it.
You trying to mansplain tennis to me, dude?
Aaron, you've also been playing Hollow Knight. I know Drew and David talked about that last week. What are your thoughts of that game?
I really like it. It's really fun. The soundtrack is really good. I remember you guys mentioning that. It's like I'm not very far. I've only gotten through like the first 3 zones. I think it is like the starting zone.
What zone are you in now?
I just finished Green Path, I think it's called,
okay,
like the
you're
foresty
like
area where you get the dash.
Early game, okay.
Yeah, so like I'm not very far. I really liked the Green Path area though. I went from there into like the fungal whatever the fuck.
Fungal wastes.
Yeah, and that was like hard. Like it went from like Green Path was like easy and cute, and I was just running around. I didn't have any trouble with that boss, and then I went to the fungal waste. Is that what it's called? And like there were enemies I just wasn't ready for. I was fucking like struggling to find the map guy, so I was like trying to rush past everything. Like it was.
That's the best part.
The game does a really good job of like. That's a Metroidvania is what you call
absolutely.
That, right?
Yeah.
It's like
it's the best one.
I don't know. It feels so good, and just like everything in there is so just atmospherically cool. Like the people that you find, the soundtrack again, like the environments. I really like it.
Did you find there's a guy that's like rah, 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 rah. Fuck, what's his name?
Zote? All of them.
Zote. Did you find Zote the Mighty yet?
Oh yeah. You save him from the fucking the little bug, and then you find him up in the town, and he's like, "You're a little bitch. Don't save him again."
Fucking Zote, dude. That has consequences if you choose to.
It's like Dark Souls, dude. I know that's annoying, and like,
no,
people
it is.
comparing it to Dark Souls, but there are a lot of like I feel like apt comparisons.
Yeah. That game's fucking incredible, dude. You were like I like wish I had the ability to re-experience it, like from your perspective, because
It's funny because fucking while I was playing it, sorry to cut you off. I was like,
no, it's cool.
I would play it for a little bit, and then I'd be like, okay, well, I was just doing this to like kill some time, and then I would go back to whatever I was doing. Well, there was like a day where I think I was playing tennis, and I fucking got pissed off. So I was like, I want to play Hollow Knight for a minute, and I started playing Hollow Knight. And I meant to only do it for like a second and then go back to tennis. And I fucking ended up playing it for like 3 hours. And I was like, damn, like I really like this game.
That game opens up a lot after an area called Mantis Village. That's all I'm going to say. But it's very good at encouraging exploration. And it always is kind of egging you on with new things.
And the world is so just mysterious and cool that like you want to explore and see what's next.
You've like, oh man, like Green Path is great, but like there are some truly like, wow, this is fucking great. Like
that just like had like it made me feel the way Zelda made me feel when I was a kid.
Because
with, like,
because
the
it's
soundtrack and just everything.
It's so
about
dreary, and then you get into that area where it's like all like it's fucking beautiful, and it's like so like that. Like when people were looking at previews of the game, they're like, "Oh, it looks all the same. It's gonna be boring." Like,
it looks
gray
really
the
dark
whole
and like it bums you out, especially in the beginning. And that's kind of how I felt until I got to Green Path, and I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, it like I think they play like the pacing is like perfect at that part because it's just like it's the perfect time to like lift you up really quick. Have you seen the Grub guy, the Grub father? Where you save the little grubs and then you go and see him and he rewards you.
I don't think so.
You should go up there. It's like in the area above where the entrance to Green Path was, in that big vertical platform area.
I found like the hunter guy who's like in a cave and he gives you I think it's like the journal when you.
Oh yeah, he's cool. That game, God, all the NPCs are so fucking cool. Yeah, I need to go back to it. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but I am about a third of the way to the bad end, which you can afterwards go and get the true end or whatever, which apparently is just fucking hard as shit. I never did it. They added a lot. Like, that game is a lot better now. It was really good when it launched, and they've just addressed a lot of, like, I haven't even done like the Crimson Troop yet. I don't even know how to find them. But that's like a whole side quest with these 3 like mysterious like bosses that have this cool like fucking vampire bug aesthetic, and like I changed my main menu to like that Crimson Troop theme. You can change the way it looks in the menu. And I'm fighting like there's a whole new boss somewhere. There's like a few new bosses in this area that I really liked, but it felt empty. They added a new boss there. It's like my favorite zone. I'm really excited to get to that. The game's fucking
I like
great.
the big fucking like bug puppies that you ride through the subway tunnels to get to.
Oh, it's just the one. Yeah, it's just the one guy. The stag guy.
Yeah,
the stag station.
He's funny.
He's
He's
really
cute.
cool. You should talk to him when you go to a new zone. If you walk down and talk to him, he'll like tell you about it. He's really.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
He's really cool. Yeah. All right. So moving on to our last game, I'll just go ahead and start. I've been playing No Kuni 2. It's a game I meant to play when it came out, and I didn't. Because I heard it was too easy and I kind of got turned off by that, but they added a hard mode and an expert mode, which is awesome because it like made the game a lot better for a lot of people. Because TJ, that was your main complaint when you reviewed
That was
it.
like my biggest.
was,
And I thought like that and the side quests aren't like fantastic.
That is now I'm finding my major problem. I am not very far. I'm like wrapping up Gold Paul. I did the boss there, and then I'm building my kingdom for the first time, so I'm like starting all of that stuff, which is cool. But the game has a serious like pacing issue, I think, because as soon as I felt like I was gaining momentum and building my kingdom, I got put on this quest by this fucking librarian lady to go do these 3 like super menial tasks that unlock, I assume, unlock abilities that you need to progress elsewhere in the game. So I don't feel like I'm going on a grand journey to. And
they build you a ship, right? Is that what it is?
Yes. I don't like. I feel like I'm kind of just like I want to go kill the guy that staged a coup in my kingdom, and Roland is like, I need to go read these books, and I'm like, this is like so tonally off right now. I'm like, it's bumming me out because like I want to play it, but like what I'm doing doesn't feel like it matters, and that's because you actually have to like really try. It's not like an easy, I guess, or a normal mode where like I assume this stuff was just like, okay, go A B C. This is like I have to go like gear up and like grind and like get ready to do these quests, and it's way harder when it's like go find me a red rose, and I'm like, fuck off. Like I have to go and fight these like level 26 fucking enemies that are gonna kick my ass to go and get you this banal shit that you like. I assume the difficulty was like being too easy probably hid that pacing issue from a lot of people, but now that it's like I have to really prepare for this, the pacing is like killing me because it's so slow. At least it feels like it. I need to just push through. I'm sure it's just this part, and after that once I get to the next kingdom, which I've kind of seen a little bit of, it seems like it'll pick up narratively. I really like the characters and the writing, and the aesthetic is really awesome. I love all the enemy designs. The combat's a lot of fun, especially on hard, because like manticores are like fucking hell, because if they like stomp on you once, you just like almost die.
Yeah. So
I play as Roland now because he's a little tankier and his sword's a little faster. You have to actually like go into the tactic tweaker now and like adjust weaknesses and resist.
Have you upgraded the different colors of? Are you doing that yet or no? Whatever they're called. The little like higgy biggies or whatever they're called.
The Higglebees. Upgraded them? No.
Okay.
I have a Higgledy. I just got the lady that runs it. But I haven't.
Okay, so when you get her in your town, you can start upgrading them, and like their powers will do more damage, and they'll have like new ones and stuff.
Okay,
That's
I have
really
the
cool.
Shadow ones that do like the Shadow Crush, which is
The
like,
Shadow Crush, like that's Roland's, where it's just like a giant ball, right, and it like goes over.
It like it's like an area, and
it
it's like the spell from Kingdom Hearts where it squishes them. That
Gravity.
does a fuck ton of.
Is Drippy in this one?
No, he is not.
No, it's
You
like
have a
completely
different
separate from. He's way worse. He's a way worse
Yeah,
companion.
he's not as great.
He looks like a
doesn't say
I like
fun.
Drippy,
deformed.
dude.
He's like a deformed
But
Lisa Simpson.
I can't even remember his name. The yellow motherfucker. Your Kingmaker.
Yeah, the Kingmaker. Fuck. Why
That
can't
is
I
why
can't
he is not as
remember
good
his
as Mr. Drippy.
Yeah,
because I
he's like,
remember
hey,
his
Mon!
weakness.
I'm
Yeah.
like, shut the fuck up, you weirdo.
I like Drippy.
Drippy's awesome.
Drippy's cute. He's like, he looks like...
This guy's
he
not
looks
as
like
bad.
a
Roland is
blob.
kind of a wet blanket, in my opinion.
Roland's
as far
cool.
as,
He's like the
characters.
straight man. You need that.
Like,
Who's
like
that?
Oliver is like very sweet and like has a.
Is that the hot one?
Oliver
Roland?
is the boy, so maybe.
Roland
I
is-
don't know.
No, Roland.
4.
Is he the hot
Oh, yeah,
one?
Roland
Roland is the daddy
yes.
one.
Okay.
Evan's
like
cool. He's a little milquetoast, but he's like
Yeah,
a
he is.
child.
But he's
so-
hot.
He has some interesting stuff happen later on, but that's not.
I really like, what's her name? The little girl.
Connie and her dad, they're
Tawny.
awesome.
She's funny. Yeah, I like her a lot.
Yeah, those are my favorite. Those are my favorite.
She's spunky, which is
Besides,
good
I
quality.
Roland,
But yeah, no, the game's great. Like, don't let me like
Mm-hmm.
dissuade anyone from playing it. It's just if you're gonna play on hard, it's a long haul. Like, I'm sure it makes the game a lot longer because like
Yeah,
I find myself going out and like actually grinding levels, and if somebody
Didn't
dies in
grind that one
combat,
time.
they don't fucking
I
level.
hate that though.
It's fun because it's like
I had fun with the game. It's just the combat was like pretty easy.
it's like
Like,
grinding.
that's why I'm probably never gonna finish
in-
Personas because I'm at a point now where I have to grind and I refuse to do it.
You
So,
know, why do you have to grind
Probably
in
not gonna finish
Persona?
that game.
What happened?
So yeah, okay, all right. So
4?
last but not least, Aaron's been playing Persona 4 on the Vita. He borrowed my Vita. And the thing I want to ask you about most, I don't care about how you think of it. What do you think of the Vita? Did they fucking rob this thing of its fucking life, Aaron? Is this just
Honestly,
the better Switch?
No, as much shit as I talked about the Vita, it is better than I gave it
Concise.
credit for. I do enjoy it. I kind of fucked around in the menus a little bit and just like looked around at the stuff that you had, and I was like, this is pretty cool. Like I wish that it had seen its like, it had its glory
Trophies
days
are
instead of
back
just
and
being
forth, all
brushed under the
complicated
rug.
stuff,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, the communication with the PS4 is really cool. I wish I had a Vita of my own, but like at the same time,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
glad
not-
I didn't buy one because it would have been a waste.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty cool. I don't think that it's the fucking like end all be all that some people think it is.
No,
but-
I
think
don't.
it's a- I
I
think
don't
it's a
really think I'm
meme.
playing like a character. Like it's
a
very
bit.
much like for indie games and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the Switch is better for that.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. The Switch has
But
two
yeah.
like shoulder buttons and like no back touch that gets in your way. It doesn't really for Persona 4 at all, but some
Yeah.
games it's very fucking annoying. But anyway, tell me about Persona 4. You don't like it that much.
No. That's not at all true. I love the game. I
Wrong.
don't like it as much as Persona 5.
That's fair.
Playing it
Obviously,
just
yeah.
makes me want to play Persona 5. But I think the beginning of the game is kind of like hard to get through, and
It
it's
is
like not anywhere
very,
near
like,
as engaging
dialogue,
as
yeah.
Persona 5. And I've played like probably 20-25 hours of it, and I feel like I'm still in the beginning of the game.
You're
So,
not.
like,
You're
that's
about
another
like a
reason-
third of the way through. What you told me.
It's like
Those games
that's
are
part
too
of the reason
fucking
it's
long.
hard for me to continue playing is because like I haven't done anything that I care about enough to keep going, and it
Yeah,
sucks
just try
because
to
I feel
kiss
like I'm
Chie.
just now getting to. I have though. I just now got to the part where me and Chie are like we're a thing,
All
dude.
right, cool.
P5 was
Um,
really good about making shit matter early.
That's what I'm saying. The 5 had way like the story was a lot
Yeah.
more weighty and impactful. Like
Yeah,
it felt like the things I was
started
doing in
being
5
important
mattered from the jump.
immediately.
They
Yeah.
remind you plenty of times that you will be expelled if you act up.
Exactly, and
Right.
that's my problem with Persona 4 is the stuff that I'm doing. Like I don't really care.
People are
like,
dying though, man.
They are, but like I don't
But
know.
I mean,
these
even,
people.
like-
they mean nothing to me as a player. Like
Yeah.
it's just it's narrative fluff that like isn't very good at like
Yeah.
making me care as a player.
It's
Like,
So
feel
for
like if
me,
it-
I guess for me, the whole murder mystery aspect of Persona 4
it's just now starting to get good,
was
and that's
very
what I'm.
interesting.
It is, and it gets more interesting over time, but it takes too long to get there. And I'm at a point now where gameplay is getting in the way of the narrative because I didn't grind enough before I got to the boss I'm at now, and this boss has no weaknesses. You just have to literally beat him to death.
Okay.
Which is fucking absurd for a Persona game.
You like
Yeah.
immediately
And,
knew which boss
like,
you were talking about. I saw
You
it in
literally
his
have to
eyes.
beat his outer shell until it falls off to reveal the real boss, beat on that until he decides to bring the shell back at full health, then beat that down again, and it's just an endless cycle. And also he has abilities that if work out, the RNG works in his favor, can one-shot your entire party.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
That's 100% true.
No. I that's all I'm saying. I don't know.
CJ,
Like, this boss is, like, in my opinion, poorly designed.
Okay, yeah.
And fucking
I
bold.
remember
and
that guy being like an interesting narrative part, so I don't really remember
it's aesthetically insane, and I loved it. I got there, I was like, damn, this guy's so cool. Like, I love the way they did the 8-bit thing. The soundtrack is cool. I loved the palace, or whatever they call it in that game, leading up to the fucking boss. Everything about it was awesome until I realized the mechanics of the boss are, like, throwing everything you've learned to do up to that point in your face.
Yeah.
Like, you can't do any of
That's
the things
fair.
that you've practiced doing up to this point. You're just gonna get fucked if you're not ready.
Yeah. Do you have like a bunch of money where you can just go buy a bunch of like fucking like?
I did that, but because I'm not a high enough level, he can literally kill anyone in my party in 2 hits. So if I'm not like, I'm constantly on the defensive. The entire fight I'm playing so defensively that it's hard for me to do enough damage to keep up with the fight. So I run out of resources before the fight's over.
Buy a bunch of fucking what are the like the I don't know. I don't want to tell you how to play the game. I
mean, you're not wrong, but like I've backed
the
myself
item that
into a
causes
corner.
damage. I don't remember what that is. Like because you can't do it.
I have those and I use them.
Okay, my bad.
The
you know the elemental
problem,
damage like things because elemental damage doesn't do anything, but you can like still like I don't know.
But yeah, I know what you're saying, and like yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing, and I've gotten close a couple times, which makes it more frustrating because the fight is so long that I don't want to retry it when I fail it because it takes so goddamn long. It's just I don't know. It's probably more of a problem with me than with the game. I just don't. I don't.
No,
want
I understand
to go...
what you're saying. Like banging your head into the wall isn't fun, especially
right. And
like that is right at the precipice where something like interesting narratively happens too.
And that's what I know that, and I felt that doing it, and that's another reason it's so frustrating, and part of the reason I just don't care anymore, because it's like if I have to go through this to fucking experience the narrative, then like why? And I also hate grinding in most games. Like I never had to grind in Persona 5 and did fine.
You play WoW.
Whereas
isn't WoW like basically all grinding?
That's kind of the exception, and
okay.
that's why I said most games specifically.
Okay, fair.
But in this particular instance, when I think about having to go through floors and grind to maybe beat the boss, it makes me just want to not turn on the beat. And I haven't since.
What do you think about the characters? Because that's where I think Persona 4 has like the major edge over Persona 5. I think the characters in Persona 4 are like
they're awesome. I mean Yosuke kind of sucks, but he's like almost the Ryuji of this game.
Ryuji,
yeah. It's
nothing.
I really like characters. Chie is fucking adorable.
She's
awesome. Hands down.
Nanako is my favorite, like by far.
I don't know who's Nanako.
That's your sister.
Oh, the little sister. Yeah. She's so freaking cute.
She's so.
What's her name? I really like the goth girl from the Velvet Room. She's cool. No, that's Marie, I think is her name.
From the Velvet Room. Okay, yeah, Marie. Yeah, you can wife her in this game too.
Yeah, I wanted Chie, dude.
Yeah, no, you gotta have Chie, dude. She's a kung fu fighting type of girl. You know?
Is she like the Makoto of that game?
I think she's like I don't know, I guess, but
is she the canon pick?
Everywhere I've looked to, everybody like she is like the main girl. Okay. Her and the Velvet Room girl.
Confirmed best girl.
Marie, yeah. Marie was I committed to Marie, and then I started getting further along in Chie's social link, and I was like, all right, it's Chie.
Chie
nobody can beat Yusuke. So sorry.
Seriously,
sorry,
he's the best.
Yeah, I don't get that. Yusuke is cool, but like
he's so. It's like you didn't.
Nanako is the best Persona character.
You didn't beat P5. How fucking far are you in P5, CJ?
I did the one where you get Futaba.
You're like halfway through the fucking game.
How many more characters am I getting? 2?
But like the S links are like super important to getting to the characters.
I'm not saying they're not, but I'm just saying like I met the characters.
I hated Yusuke at first, and like he became like my favorite boy. So.
I love
Yusuke is the I'm thinking of Ryuji.
He's the artist.
The Ryuji
I like
character
Ryuji. As much shit as we're talking, Ryuji's fun.
Ryuji's awesome.
Ryuji sucks.
He's
the Ryuji
so
character
cute.
in Persona 4's name is Yosuke, and that confused the fuck out of me when the one guy in
Yosuke is way worse than Ryuji.
Yosuke sucks, dude.
Yosuke is like bad.
They
He's
both
like annoying.
What's the one kid?
I like Ryuji. Ryuji's endearing.
Teddy's better than
fun.
Morgana too.
No.
Teddy is adorable.
Teddy did get better. I fucking hated Teddy in the beginning. Yeah. He gets way better.
Yeah.
Morgana gets way worse.
Teddy is a goddamn fucking nightmare in the first like probably a few hours of the game. But like once you get used to him and kind of actually start to care about him, which again that game takes way too long doing.
Yeah, I told you going into it, it takes a while to get going.
I have to always ask this: who is the gay boy with the folding chair? Is he in P3?
That's Kanji, dude. Troy Baker.
Oh
is,
yeah.
I really like his persona.
He's got, like,
Kanji's actually one of my favorite characters. He's fucking awesome.
He seems very cool.
He's better than.
He sucks as a party member, though.
No, he doesn't. He's awesome, dude. I used him.
I had to swap him out and started doing markedly better when
I used Chie, me, whoever had the ice attack, and him.
That's Chie.
No, Chie has the ice attack. Who had the?
I used Chie, Yukiko, and Teddy now.
Oh, you don't have. You don't have what I'm talking about. You don't have. It's like a cop person.
That's the. I know who you're talking about, but no, I don't have him as a party member yet. I have. I use Chie and Yukiko because you basically get a second all-out attack if yours doesn't kill people. Yeah, you do get that. Yeah. Which is cool. It doesn't do much damage, but
I just hated Yukiko. I didn't hate Yukiko, but like, I wouldn't vibe with her. Man. She wasn't.
I like her. She's like
kind
of boring. Yeah, but like.
I don't care about your.
It's like everybody else. She gets better once you get further in her social lane.
Family hotel or whatever it is.
Yeah. See, I like that stuff. That I think is what makes
the real question. So you've been doing all these social links. Have you been doing the social link with the Fox?
Actually, no.
You gotta get the Fox social
That's
link.
the other thing was like I thought it was kind of lackluster. Is like it doesn't do a very good job of introducing him.
It doesn't at all.
I don't care at all about him, so I haven't tried to do any of his shit. Which now I feel like I probably should.
The
but
Fox
like,
is cool. Have you done?
To be honest, I'm never gonna beat this boss.
Have you gone fishing or anything yet, or have you not unlocked that? I can't remember.
I have, but I haven't done it yet. I have I talked to the guy and I got the stuff, but I haven't actually done it yet.
I just didn't know. I really liked Persona 4, and that's also part of that is like I played Persona 4 before Persona 5 too, so I have the like not nostalgia necessarily because I played it in like college, but you know.
Even though it started out slow and I wasn't as into it as I was Persona 5 like off the bat, but like I played it like I did Persona 5, like I played it nonstop and like I was thinking about it when I wasn't playing it and was like excited to go back until I got to this boss and was like.
I think you should. I don't want to tell you what to do, but push through. Like there is some like really cool narrative stuff that happens after that.
And I know that, and I felt that, and I literally tried the boss like 4 or 5 times in a row until I almost fucking murdered myself. So like
It's like man,
I don't know.
I'm reading about Kanji, unrelated to your discussion right now, and like they really handled him well, it seems. And then in Persona 5, they make their gay characters like. Ooh, gay, that's weird. We're gonna run away. It's like you had such a good.
I don't know. They don't handle him great. I'm not gonna.
No, there's some. Also, speaking of going back to Yosuke,
oh, he's mad homophobic,
terribly homophobic and like fat shaming and fucking like.
I mean,
every
so
sexist,
is what's
like,
his name too.
Ryuji's not anywhere near as bad as
he
Yosuke.
is a little bit though. Like
he does say bad things, but like
I'm so worried about Catherine's
doesn't even
full
compare.
body.
Oh, dude, it's not gonna go well.
Please don't let her be trans. Don't do it. They already have a trans woman in that game, and she's great.
Wait,
they don't need to.
about?
Catherine full body. The fucking. There's a trans waitress in the original game, and it doesn't define her.
Looking back, they don't handle that well either.
Probably not.
What do you mean? Did you play the game?
Yeah.
I thought they handled it fine. It's like you have to get Catherine.
It's just like it's like a surprise at the end. It's really I don't know.
It's not a surprise. You have to get to know her and like dig through her. Like it's not an S-Link, but you have to like really commit to her character to find that out. They don't make it clear and it doesn't like define. I thought it was a good way to handle it.
Doesn't the one guy like try to date her or something like that in there, like that thing? That's really weird.
I think they all know, but as a player, you have to like get to know her to find out. It's like common knowledge between their friend group, I think. But
I can't. There was something else.
I remember it being done well, but regardless.
Speaking of terrible characters, the fucking reporter in Persona 5 was like just a waste of everybody's time. Like nobody.
She
cared.
sucks.
Kinda.
She's the fucking worst. Exactly. The alcoholic. I don't even know if you've met her.
I got her to like I think rank 2 on her social.
Oh, I was like, I thought she was kind of hot, so I was gonna like her. A little
She
bit,
fucking sucks.
Cheat on the doctor. A little
Fucking
bit,
in Persona 5, it's either Takemi or Makoto. Those are like your only choices.
Takemi's the
I
doctor.
was-
Although I wanted
Futaba.
to, I really like.
Taffy's like your sister. Don't go to.
Yeah, Futaba. That's
I
weird.
know.
I don't like that at all.
She's not literally your sister.
No,
I
that's
like-
like if I'd
do you
romance
know
Hanako
what
in
the
Persona
most
4.
searched for porn Curie is? It's
No,
step siblings, and that is Cheyenne's playing right into that.
I like Kifune.
Third. Okay. Whatever.
I'm just
She's
saying,
cool.
these
She's
are the truths,
underrated.
man. She's already on the computer all the time. These are the facts. I don't know what she's
Hifumi's a
doing in
good-
that dark room, hidden away from
Hifumi's
society.
underrated. What's
Who
the
is?
game? Hifumi, the girl who plays.
She is
Oh
very
no,
cute.
no! Like there was a moment where I thought I was gonna have to
Dude,
switch to. She's
same.
the shogi girl.
Yeah,
Right?
I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
I don't
This is
remember
tough.
this
She's cool.
girl.
I don't
might
think
not-
you've met
See,
her.
they're all good. I don't know, man. I think that some of the side characters in 5 are better than 4 even. But then
the
again,
main character
there's a lot of 4 I'm missing.
Like 4 is like my top 3 characters in Nanako, Chie, and then Dojima.
And that's what sucks, and that's honestly one of my biggest complaints about 4 is like I feel like I'm still missing a lot of the best parts of that game, but like it shouldn't be taking me this fucking long to.
No, you're probably right. I don't know. Persona 5, like, I'm not like Persona 5 isn't an expedient experience either. Like it takes a while.
It's longer than 4, but I feel like its pacing is better.
Yeah, it's way longer, but it jumps right into the shit, and I care immediately about what's going on.
And the whole frame story that they have around it is really interesting too, with the one girl's sister.
Yeah.
I think the whole narrative in general is just better.
You should finish that game. It's good.
Didn't we have a bet that I was gonna finish it before you finished Ni no Kuni?
Me? I don't think so.
I
haven't picked up Ni no Kuni again.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think either one of us is gonna do it, but I just remember that being a bet.
We should probably wrap this up.
Okay.
I still think I could finish Ni no Kuni before you finish Persona.
Good. Ni no Kuni's long, dude.
It's not longer than Persona. Also,
if you haven't finished
Persona by now, you're never going to.
Oh, I'm probably not. I'll be honest, but I can't even bring myself. I have fucking The Life of Captain Underpants fucking installed on my PS4.
Me too.
I keep needing to do it, but I'm putting it off.
Yep. Same.
You're not compelled to play it.
Don't play it. I can win a cup in this fucking time, man.
We somehow drug this shit out with just.
I was having a meaningful conversation with you.
Yeah,
it was a blast.
You and David talking about Hollow Knight. I'm sorry.
We had fun. That was the best part.
But
yeah, I think it's time to end. So CJ, will you?
All right, yeah. I can sign us
off.
off. My name is Charles White. You can find me on Twitter at Charles Hill. You can find me on Instagram at Charles2. The hashtag Charlie's 1 Minute Reviews. I just reviewed Uncle Drew. Yeah, that's for Uncle Drew.
How was that, dude?
Just
a quick synopsis.
That is a movie that happened. It was a movie. Do you remember the Geico commercial with the cavemen?
Yeah.
This is a movie that was a commercial with Kyrie Irving, who's a basketball player, and they just made it a movie.
Oof.
Was it like the Shaq Fu of movies?
It is. Like Shaq is in it.
That's why I was making that joke.
Shaq is a main character in it.
And he looks like he's playing a character similar to like his character.
Shaq looks like the bigger version of what's his name from Tekken? Heihachi, isn't that his name?
I don't
know.
The main guy in Tekken, the like bad guy in Tekken.
Yeah.
That he plays that guy.
Akuma? Isn't his name like Akuma?
I thought it was Heihachi. Anyway, doesn't matter. Aaron, where can people find you?
Aaron M Weeks on Twitter, but I never tweet.
Cool. Cheyenne, where can people find you?
Poop Flowers on Twitter, but I do tweet sometimes.
You're out here in these streets playing Pokemon Go.
Yeah, dude.
Getting that Pikachu.
The Pikachus have like sun hats and glasses now. It's so cute.
She looks like Robin Williams, or whatever. Robin Williams and Mrs. Doubtfire. Kinda,
no.
That's what it reminded me of. With the hat? Yeah,
No.
It does. The like, whatever. Anyway,
Pikachu.
We all getting Pokemon Pikachu Reevee, let's go.
Hell yeah.
Let's go.
Reevee go.
Reevee go.
Maybe.
I read an article that was on like US Gamer that was like random encounters were kind of dumb. Thinking back, I'm like, yeah, maybe.
There was somebody on.
Yeah, that's right. Cat Bailey is her name.
Yeah.
They're
and
never good.
Swayed me a little bit. I was like, maybe you're right. Maybe I should.
I think the battle aspect of it is cool, but the
But how are you gonna level your Pokemon? What's gonna? What
I
am
guess fighting trainers.
Is that enough though?
Maybe.
Like, is that enough to make you
what
care?
What if all the trainers in the game were like had like meaningful backstories and shit?
I'm ruining these people's lives by beating their Pokemon to death.
Yeah.
And they're like hard strung. I don't know. Dave, where can people find you?
Oh, my guy Dave on Twitter, exclusively responding to tweets like a 60-year-old.
He does.
Yeah, you really do. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
The only time I see David tweet is when it's attached to somebody else.
They're usually pretty good
So
tweets.
that is our podcast, episode 61 of the Current Game Podcast, and peace.